Hola, welcome back. I figured it was about time to do a fall update on the mini orchard I planted down here at the ranch. It's funny to say fall because it is November 9th, Sunday, and it is already 80 degrees outside, so that's cool. But this is fall in Texas, especially South Texas. But wanted to give you all an update because some of the trees started going dormant a little bit, some of the fig trees, just due to the fact that we did have a little bit of a cold spurt. By cold spurt, I mean it got to like 47 degrees one day, so nothing crazy. And then it would immediately warm up to 75, 80 degrees for the rest of the day. So overall, I'm quite impressed with everything. It's still going really well. And for those of you who are just watching the first time, I do not live here permanently. This is a remote orchard, I guess I should start calling it. Meaning I live about 2 hours north of here, and I travel here and back just whenever I can on the weekends. This is our family's property. Get to do a lot of stupid stuff like build our own cabin and plant our own little orchard. But I will say stay to the end because I do have an update. It has something a little bit to do with what I showed at the beginning. I'm really excited about that, so it'll give me something to do for the next coming year. So let's start with the banana tree because we're here. This thing has exploded and it's awesome. I was really worried about this tree just because I'm not here and it gets really hot. It's straight in the sun, which I learned can be a blessing and a curse for banana trees. I was worried that I wasn't going to be watering it enough because they take a lot of water. I've been feeding the crap out of it. Everything else here gets like 1 or 2 scoops of what they're supposed to off of Coop Grow. In case you're curious, that's what I use. And this guy, I've been giving double that. And obviously he's been doing super well. You probably can't see it from over there, but we got, and a lovely big old spider too, pup right here, which is awesome because that means this tree loves where it is. It's doing great. And this is a blue java tree. What are you doing, big dog? It's a bug I've never seen before. And I know there's big disputes between blue java and ice cream banana. I don't know yet. This thing came to me as blue java ice cream banana, which are 2 different trees I've learned. So we'll have to wait and see if the bananas are turquoise whenever they come out, then it's a blue java. And I've learned that ice cream banana doesn't really taste like ice cream like I was hoping. It's more up to your imagination. So anyways, that's doing really well. And then next to us is my Satsuma. It's doing extremely well. This guy didn't put on any growth for quite a long time, and it had me a little bit worried, but it stayed green. And now it's got a lot of new vegetative growth on it, even though we're going into the middle of November, which is awesome to see. Besides that, the rest of the trees are doing really, really well, except for obviously my one peach tree that died probably back July, August. It's the only one that didn't survive. Not mad about it. You stupid son of a... It sucks, but thankfully I have another one that I'm going to replace there that will eventually hopefully take over because my other peach tree is doing fantastic. I don't know why this one died and that one survived, but so be it. And they're both Albert peach. I think it's Albert's peach. Yeah. So they're both the same variety. One's doing extremely well. I did a summer prune on it and it's still just shot up. So it's probably, I don't know, triple the size it was when I planted it, even after I pruned it. So that's really cool. Pomegranate's doing really well. Hasn't really grown. Had a couple pomegranates on it, then they fell off. Not too surprised. It's trying to establish itself. The fajoas are doing real well, or pineapple guava, as some people call them. And they're growing. The smaller one is not doing too hot. I thought it was gonna die, but it looks like it's hanging on. And then the other one's just doubled in size easily. The only tree that's really changed since the last update is the Melchi plum. And that poor guy out of all the vegetation we have in here, I sort of stuck to stuff that would be deer resistant at least, just because we have a crap load of deer on our property. And that plum gets chewed up about every single day by a deer. I thought it was deer resistant. Everything online said it was. Obviously it's not. That's all right. It's that poor thing. It's just not doing well. It puts on leaves every single time it gets chewed back, and then it gets chewed back. So I don't know if it's going to survive or not. I'm going to let it sit there because it is trying. It puts off leaves every single time. Besides that, our fig trees are finally exploded. The one tree that gave us a lot of figs, which is my Marseilles Black VS, here in the front, it was giving us a lot of figs whenever I planted, and now it's gone completely dormant, it looks like. It's got some new growth on it. It was worrying me a little bit because it dropped all of its leaves and the other ones started exploding. But now it's got some green growth on it, even though the rest of it's dormant. So that's good to see. I was worried that the right root knot nematodes, gophers, which as you probably can see are a huge freaking issue around here, or moles, I don't know what they are. I'm glad that I put those root cages, little stainless steel meshes, around everything except for the banana tree, just because it grows pups. But it's obviously working, because nothing but obviously the peach tree died, but I don't think that had anything to do with moles. I think that just was a tree that was ready to die before I even planted it. Besides that, it's good to see that that's taken off, and oddly enough, that guy stopped, and the rest of the fig trees decided that they were going to pop off. I don't understand why. The Celeste, which is the fourth from the bottom here, it completely died back. I had to cut it all the way back to the ground. I don't know what happened there because it was the middle of summer and the tree was perfectly fine whenever I put it in the ground. Who knows, root shock, too much heat, too little water, whatever it may be. And it completely came back, and it's given us the most figs now. So I don't understand it because it's about 1.5 feet tall, but I'm not here to argue. I'm just here to eat, and it's made me very happy. Besides that, the as I call it, Miles's fig. It's from my buddy Miles, that he doesn't know the variety, and instead of trying to sell it later down the road, not knowing the variety, it's just unknown, but I call it Miles's fig. And then next to that is our CDA, that if you remember back when I did the first video after I planted all of these, that was the fig tree that I thought was gonna die. It had dropped every single leaf, was yellow, disgusting, and I was really, really worried that it wasn't gonna make it. And now it's exploded within the past month with tons and tons of new growth. It's even got figs on it, which is pretty cool. They won't ripen, sadly. It'll be way too cold for those to ripen because it'll probably take at least 90 days for some of those to ripen. And our first real frost is usually January, February, not in December, which is weird. But I'm really happy to see that doing. And the Celeste, like I mentioned. And then at the end is my LSU Purple, which is doing extremely well. It has given us 1 or 2 figs, nothing too crazy, but I'm not too surprised because all of these, I think I was underwatering during most of the summer. I did our gallon testing, and fig trees like roughly 5 to 7 gallons a week. And I did a gallon test, just where you simply take a gallon jug, put the hose or the irrigation hose that's dropping off into these trees in there, and you time how long it takes to fill up that gallon, and that's how you know how long to irrigate your plants. I did that test, and I think I underestimated how thirsty these trees were gonna be. We do have sort of a clay soil, but the clay doesn't actually start until you get about 3 feet down. The first little bit of it is mostly sand. It's very sandy. And so where a lot of these roots are right now, they're not in the clay. They're in that sand, and it's draining quick. And so I was watering them once a week, like everything in its second cousin tells you to do, and they were not growing. A lot of these trees were struggling. They weren't dying. They weren't growing. They were staying green. And then I doubled that dosage, and as you can tell, everything's taken off extremely well. So I think I'm going to stick that double dosage at least till it gets closer to where it starts getting colder for us. I have stopped fertilizing everything. Everything that I've read says that you should start fertilizing right before the beginning of fall. It's sort of weird in Texas because we don't really have a fall. So I stopped fertilizing all of these guys back in October. Probably a little too late from what I've read, but it's going to stay relatively warm here through December. So I'm not too worried about it. Worst comes to worst, a little bit of new growth dies off. It'll pop back up in the spring. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with how things are going. This experiment that I started, I've been super excited about every single time I come down here. There's not much for me to do, but it's fun to come down here and eat the figs. We don't have anything else that's really growing besides that yet. My dad will send me videos of my mom hopping out of the truck, and instead of walking to the house or doing anything else, she goes and checks and makes sure that there's figs on the trees that she can eat. I think her and my brother will one day end up fighting over who can have the single fig that is growing out here. They both love them. And that brings me sort of to my next point. I want to expand this. This whole experiment has worked really well for about a year, and it's proven that it can be done. And I only lost one tree, so I think it's time to expand. And I don't know if you can see it from that angle, but over behind the cabin, there's tons and tons of space, and it's relatively empty. I say that because nothing on our property is super empty except for the areas that we've cleared. And so what I want to do now is I want to take that area and expand probably a little less than a quarter acre, which isn't a lot, I understand. But I want to expand a little less than a quarter acre over there, probably like 150 by 150. And I have about 40 trees that are ready to go in the ground that I've been working on at our house. A lot of fig trees, just because I got sort of down that rabbit hole, which if you need something to do on a Saturday afternoon, don't do that because it will consume all of your life. But I have tons and tons of trees that I want to plant over there and sort of start expanding. And with that expansion, I'm sort of venturing into selling some of the stuff that I've actually been producing. There's several websites that if you ever want to look at it, like figbid.com. My wife's going to make fun of me for that one. She already does. But you can sell your cuttings, your scions, and things like that on that website. And while I don't have the space at my house to start a full-blown nursery, it's always something that I've liked to do and experiment with. So I can sell the cuttings and scions from this property, even though I can't sell full-blown trees yet, which may be something that I want to do down the road. So the plan is to get this cleared out, and that's sort of what I was doing at the beginning on the side of the cabin, just sort of testing how long. I knew I was going to be able to clear this quarter acre. I just wanted to prove. What y'all saw took me about 20 minutes, and I made like a dent of 5 feet. And so to clear a quarter acre of that crap would take me months and months, and it still wouldn't be good because we've got Yaupon down here, which is extremely hard wood that grows extremely vigorously. So it's easier just to hire somebody, come out here, clean it up for me, and then I can do the fence. I can do all the other stuff, the irrigation, so forth, so forth. So with that being said, hopefully the next video that I release that's talking about the orchard down here is going to have an expansion over there, and we can talk more about all of the trees that I want to put down here. I want to put mulberries, satsumas, figs. I got more banana trees. I've got random stuff like strawberry tree that I want to plant down here, peanut butter tree, sort of just random varieties that I've learned about just through meeting people and digging online. But yeah, for now, we'll leave it here. I'm excited for the expansion, excited to get that started, and I'm excited for everything that's been happening with these trees. They've been doing extremely well, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you guys.